Welcome to the third and final vlog of my solo Japan adventure. With only a few days left, I'm making the most of it with tons of shopping in Ginza, eating my way through Asakusa, exploring Akihabara's animated streets, and taking in tons of serene views, including a whole day trip to Mount Fuji. Without further ado, let's get into it. Today is day 4 of my trip in Japan. If you guys have not watched the last couple of videos, I'm currently in Japan on a solo trip and I've been staying in Tokyo. Today's the first day that the weather hasn't been amazing. I think literally as I said that, I just felt some raindrops. Because the weather's not so great, today's probably going to become a little bit of a shopping day. We're going to head over to Ginza afterwards, but first we have currently stopped in at the Imperial Palace. To be quite honest, I didn't do that much research before coming here because they are doing a ticketed event right now, so you can't come in unless you have a reservation. So that is a good thing to know in case you want to stop in, because it looks like certain times of the year when there's certain things happening that you have to have a reservation to come in. I was able to book one, so we just made it inside. We're gonna explore a little bit and just enjoy this park, enjoy the gardens while the weather is still good before we head over to Ginza for some shopping this afternoon. Soon after I entered, I realized the park was unfortunately closed off for the day. I did get to visit the museum event, which was lovely, but be sure to check the site beforehand so you get the full experience. Luckily, we still got to enjoy some beautiful palace views from the park outside. I think almost every day since I've gotten here, I've had at least one ocean moment where I'm like, I'm literally in Japan. I've wanted to come back here since I came here the first time, which was about 8 years ago. And I did come here with family, like I explained already if you've watched my other videos. But being here alone is kind of a wild thing. Before the pandemic happened, I actually had planned to do a trip in Europe by myself, and I've always wanted to travel outside of North America alone. I've done a number of trips by myself within Canada and the United States. It is definitely different to be in a completely different culture. I feel very, very grateful that I'm able to do stuff like this. I hope that sharing this can inspire some of you guys if you ever wanted to try to do this yourself. It has just been really special to be here, and oh my god, it sounds so cheesy, but to savor every moment, to get to wander around, take my time doing stuff alone. Someone had just asked me if I prefer to travel alone, and I don't think I prefer necessarily. I think they just are very different experiences. But I just had my ocean moment of the day because this park is gorgeous. It's so peaceful. Even the grass, like I was just looking at, the grass was beautiful too. Like, how is the grass beautiful in Japan? I don't understand. Now in Ginza, there's a lot of shops here. The flagship Uniqlo is here, which is like massive. There is a pretty well-known udon place that I'm trying to get to, but I was just walking and I saw that there's this book cafe that looks super duper cute because I can't pass the bookstore or not go into it. So I'm gonna stop in there quickly. I might have to get a coffee because the first one has definitely worn off by now. I'm also hoping that there won't be a huge line because this udon place is pretty popular among the tourists, and usually I found that going right when the place opens is the best chance at not having to wait a long time, but we'll see. So it is already fully booked for the day, which is not that surprising because anytime that something is hyped up on Instagram, everybody wants to go. But it's okay, we're in the area anyways. I was gonna come here to do some shopping. You guys, that is the entire Uniqlo. I could have spent hours exploring Uniqlo's 12 floors. They even had a cafe, which I didn't get to try, but with places to be and my hunger kicking in, we skipped the udon place and found a hearty bowl of ramen instead. I think that was probably the best ramen I have ever eaten in my entire life. It was at that place. There's multiple locations, but it is pretty popular, so there was a line when I was waiting outside. In total, it took me about like 20 minutes to get inside. They're super quick with it. The broth is incredibly rich, the best broth that I've ever had. It wasn't too salty either. Like sometimes the thick creamy broths I feel like are a little bit too salty because it overcompensates for some reason, but the broth was perfect. So yeah, very, very impressed with this spot. Before I'd left Canada, I did ask people to share if they have anything that they want me to get. So far, I have not fulfilled my duties yet. I did not know there was a Muji hotel. That's so crazy. A bag full of muji later, I headed back to Shinjuku and straight to Don Quixote, which is the ultimate spot for anything a tourist could want in Japan. Let me just rationalize. Apart from yesterday at Disneyland, I really did not buy anything, so this was the day. Let's just start with the last place that I went to. This is Don Quixote. There's several locations around Japan, and this is basically where all the tourists go to pick up stuff like snacks, skincare, makeup. There's household goods as well, portable batteries, all the types of things. I actually can't show you guys what's inside because they wrapped it. If you have your passport, which you're supposed to have with you at all times in Japan, you just present it at the tax-free counter and then you don't have to pay taxes. So this is some shampoo, face cream, some hair oil, and then some eyeliners and mascara. I probably will just quickly show it when I get back to Canada. I also got some eye drops, and then I think I have another eyeliner in here. I got a shitload of Kit Kats. Then I went to Muji. I also lost my mind in Muji. I didn't realize Muji had so many food items. I think this is so cool. This is a rice kit, so there's different flavors. Chestnut rice, I love. Hella snacks. I don't know how I'm gonna pack everything, but we'll figure it out. And then I went to Uniqlo. This is the flagship store. In terms of inventory that they had, there's nothing super unique except for the collections like the Japanese stuff. I did get myself a t-shirt, but this is more of like a sleeping shirt. But I do really like the design. Not something that I probably wear out, but just like around the house. This is a button up. I needed something else to layer. And then I just got this tank top. This has padding in it, so it's nice and comfortable. And then this bag is also from Uniqlo. This is one of those pieces that is exclusive here. That's basically it, you guys. We just got off the train. It's definitely gotten a lot warmer. The sun is out. I think it's gonna get up to like 30 degrees today, so we'll see how I last through the day. This is such a perfect day though. I might stop at one of these vending machines. I'm pretty thirsty and I could go for a coffee, but I don't want to stop in and sit anywhere. I might have some coins. Ooh. We have made it to Asakusa. It is as busy as everyone says it is. I'm sure it gets even busier than this because it's still pretty early right now. Basically down this little street, there's a ton of different food stalls, souvenir stores, all the things, and a lot of tourists for sure. The temple is just at the end of this road, so we're gonna wander down there. We have the famous strawberry mochi. This is honestly not the first day that I've had a mochi for breakfast, but when in Rome or when in Japan. So inside the mochi is basically like a bean paste and then some cream filling. Actually, I don't think it is a cream paste. It kind of tastes like a strawberry filling. I feel like there's powdered sugar all over my mouth or something, but just like the rest of Japan, it is frowned upon to eat while you're walking or drink while you're walking, so that's why I just ate that mochi in the middle of this alleyway. To do one of the 100 yen fortunes. So in English it reads, just like the full moon on the 15th at night is brilliant, your fortune will be full brilliant. You have no trouble in your mind and at heart. Like the moon is clear and clean, the dark clouds are not seen in the sky anywhere. No clouds are found all over the sky, it is really clean, clear, and beautiful. So something to do with the 15th, I don't know what. And then it reads, your request will be granted. This is where it gets kind of spooky, okay? The patient is hopeless. The lost article will not be found. The person you wait for will come late. Building a new house or removal are both half good fortune. It is good to start a trip, which is great because I have started my trip. Any kind of marriage, employment are both half good fortune. I don't really know what half good fortune means. I mean, I am on a trip and it's going very well, so maybe there's some truth to this, but I wish I knew what it meant. Okay, so I guess if you drew a bad fortune, then you're meant to put it on the rack so that it doesn't come true. This is a curry pan cheese bun that I saw on Instagram, and there was a little bit of a line, but it's not too bad. So it's curry and then there's cheese inside. Oh my god, 10 out of 10. Honestly, if I wasn't walking around, I was snacking. There were just so many options to choose from. Despite the crowds, the lines at the food stalls moved pretty quickly, so I grabbed these bite-sized dongos and paired them with a refreshing matcha tea. After I had my dessert, I finally made it to lunch and found a katsu spot that hit the spot and was so satisfying. I just finished having some lunch. That place specializes in katsu, so they did different sets. It was really affordable. My lunch was only 960 yen, which is less than $9 Canadian, which is unreal. This whole street has a lot of different restaurant options. Like where I was before was mostly food stalls, but then along this area you can literally find any type of restaurant. I could probably spend the rest of the day here if I had the time, but we're gonna keep going. I just got off at Ueno station, so we're in the Ueno district now, which is where the park is. Let me just have a sip of water first. When I was heading onto the train, I had a sudden moment of doubt where I was like, should I leave yet? Because I realized I hadn't gone to a couple places that I had saved, and I was like, do I even want that right now? Like one of the places was a matcha place, and it's very popular. They do different matcha desserts as well. But then I remembered I'm so full, like I don't even want to eat anything right now. But then the fact that I'm here, I just feel like I have to do everything. And realistically speaking, you're not going to be able to do everything. That's what everybody told me when I was planning my trip. It just felt like FOMO, you know, like I'm not doing every single thing. But this is, I guess, a good warning if any of you guys feel like you're going to try to do everything. You're not. You just simply are not going to do every single thing because it's already 1:30 now. And now that I've just got to this area, I'll probably walk around the park first before I head over to the shopping area. And there's tons of different things I want to look at in there as well. So it's so easy to spend a full day just walking around. So we are there. I want to get into like that area. I don't know if you guys can see all the way down there is a bunch of different food stalls. Ueno Park wasn't originally on my list, but I'm so glad I visited. It was the perfect little break from the bustling city crowds. So when I was actually looking up photos of this park, I'd seen that this has a ton of cherry blossoms when it's that time of year. So that would be like March, April. And usually that's also the busiest because a ton of people want to come here just to see the cherry blossoms. If I were to come back, it would be amazing to come back during the cherry blossom season. You just have to like be really strategic with your plans because even now it's technically considered off season and everywhere you guys have seen is so busy. So I can only imagine when it's March or April, it probably gets like 10 times crazier. So you might not be able to hear, but there's a ton of birds chirping in the background, so it just feels very zen, very serene. I'll turn off the noise canceling so you can hopefully hear it. I didn't realize as well, but there's a couple shrines within this park area. So there's one that's on the lake and then there's one next to it or something like that. So I'm gonna try to head over that way. After my little recharge in nature, I made my way to Akihabara. If I had a yen for every time I walked the wrong direction, I would be rich. It was so much fun to browse and do some souvenir shopping in Akihabara, but I was ready to head back to my home base in Shinjuku. This place has been on my list It's actually not super special. It's a chain that's across Japan, so there's multiple locations of this, but I wanted something that was hearty, but I also didn't want noodles, so this is what we ended up with. I also treated myself to an orange juice because I've been so thirsty this entire trip. Let's give this a try. That is really, really, really good. This might be one of my favorite things that I've had here so far. Treat for the night, of course, I had to try a mochi donut from Mr. Donut. So yesterday was basically a full day of eating. Today is about to be a full day of sightseeing, because I decided to go on a day tour to see Mount Fuji, which seemed like a great way to visit more spots, especially being a solo traveler. We have made it to the first stop, which is Oishi Park. At different times of year, you can catch the lavender fields. There's also the maple corridor where all the leaves have changed colors. Unfortunately, neither of those things are happening right now because it's October, so I believe the maple corridor starts like at the end of October, so I've just missed it. Also, unfortunately, it is quite cloudy outside, so all you can really see are the clouds on the other side of the lake. It would be beautiful if the weather was nice, but unfortunately, it was raining a bit, it's cloudy, and I'm a little bit cold in my dress, which is very confusing because when I looked at the forecast, it said that it was supposed to be nice this afternoon, so I'm hoping that it does clear up. Basically, behind there is a little souvenir store, some ice cream shops. So that's the thing with, planning itineraries, I guess. You just can't tell what the weather's going to be like, but it could be worse. At least it's not pouring, it's just a little sprinkle. It's so busy. This tour also came with a lunch, which was pretty decent, and if you are interested, I will link the tour that I went on in the description so you can check it out for yourself. So Lawson is a convenience store chain in Japan. I've been going to it basically every night, but this one in particular is a stop because there's supposed to be a beautiful view of Mount Fuji right behind it. Unfortunately, there is no view, so we're just literally in front of a Lawson, which is great. I actually did get a souvenir because the line wasn't too bad. Got these drops, which are Fuji branded. I thought they were cute. That's basically it. We just came here to see a view, and the view's not here. To the next stop, which is Ashino Hakai. This is known for its extremely clear springs that comes from the glaciers of Mount Fuji. It is extremely busy here. There's a little village and a bunch of different food stalls. There's actually water here that's safe to drink as well, so I was over there, but the line is insane. Every place that we've been to, I think, is the same spots that all the other tourist group go to. Because there's so many tourists everywhere, it just feels a little bit overwhelming, but it's still beautiful to walk around. The water is extremely clear. I think when it gets to be a little bit cooler, like November, it would be perfect to see all the leaves changing colors. Some of the leaves are orange now, but not fully yet. After this, I think there's 2 more stops or something like that. I'm not quite sure, but this one is one of the longer stops, so we got another like 20 minutes left here. the famous stairs that basically take forever to get up to the top. It's meant to be worth it because it's a beautiful view. Okay, we are almost there. In case anyone asks me that doesn't watch this video, we're just gonna say that I saw Mount Fuji. I didn't see all of Mount Fuji, but I saw some of it, so I mean, like, that still counts, right? Good morning for the last time from Tokyo. That is so sad. Last night I tried to do a pack of all my stuff, and of course I don't have enough space. I'm gonna finally go to Starbucks. I haven't been this whole trip. Obviously, just like every other chain, the menu is a little bit different, so I'm excited to see what they have. I'm so happy that there's a seat because the Starbucks is actually so busy. That's the thing with being alone, is no one can go grab a seat for you when you are ordering. We got a little mug. I ended up getting the Japan one. There's a Tokyo one as well, which would make more sense because I didn't see any other parts of Japan, but it wasn't as cute. So we ended up getting this one. This one came in orange as well, which would have been cute for, I guess, like a fall themed one. Then for breakfast, I got this little mushroom curry hot tortilla. I decided to go with a matcha. I was watching Ike, who just did her series of Japan vlogs, and she was saying that she started to like matcha because she got it in Japan. Matcha definitely tastes a lot richer than it does back home, but I have to confess something. I saw them making it, and I'm pretty sure she blended this in the blender, which is not very traditional, but we're gonna let it slide. It tastes amazing. Look at how gorgeous that sky is. I wish it was like this yesterday when we were trying to see Mount Fuji, but it is what it is. I'm just about to cross the street and head into Don Quixote, which is not where I want to be right now, but it's the only store that I think will have a bag that I can put everything into. So fingers crossed, the sooner that I can get a bag, the sooner I can just get back and pack everything. I kind of hate that this is so last minute. That's what I get for not figuring this out sooner. Wait, I'm here for a bag. What am I doing? I got distracted. I'm not gonna lie, the packing was very concerning based on how much stuff I had to pack and how little room I actually had. If you want to see my original strategy and pack with me, I'll link that on screen and in the description. And just like that, my solo trip in Japan has come to an end. I hope you guys have enjoyed coming along. It has been so much fun documenting and sharing with you all. It's been so nice to hear about your guys' upcoming trips and plans. If you have any tips of your own for other travelers, make sure to leave them in the comments below. If you haven't liked this video yet, I would really appreciate it, and I'll see you guys in the next one.